Hey, and welcome back to NintenGems. My name is Braydon, and not with me in the same room this time is...
Jake. Oh, it's so tragic. It's different.
I know, I miss you, buddy. You're just on a computer screen right now, but yeah.
I miss you too.
Welcome to NintenGems. We're here today to talk about some Nintendo news, what we've been playing, a retro gem, the NintenGem of the week, which we'll get to in a little bit. But for now, do we want to start with some news headlines, Jake?
Yeah, dude, let's jump right into the news.
All right, so point number one. According to a research firm, Superdata, it's an arm of Nielsen ratings, like they do the TV ratings and everything, so I trust it. Fire Emblem sold 800,000 digital units on the Switch in July, making it the best digital launch in the franchise history, which kind of makes sense. Most of the other titles were on the 3DS. But regardless, 800,000 in the month of July, and this figure only covers 6 days because it was released July 26th. So I just think that number is kind of mind-blowing, and that's digital sales only.
That's insane. And remember, the physical sales, I don't remember them off the top of my head, but they were really good, weren't they? They were like a few million, or like 1 point something million. They were really impressive.
We've joked about it before, like, I'm a physical boy, you're a digital dude. I don't quite remember what it was, but...
digital dude.
Yeah, you're a digital dude. And I don't know, digital seems so foreign to me. I like to have it in my hands, but apparently more than 800,000 at this point. That was just in July. People wanted to download it straight to their consoles, so that's pretty cool.
One of those sales, as you were mentioning, is me. So
okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I bought the game digitally. That's cool to see for me. I mean, I always, in my ideal world, physical things would stay around, but I live in a tiny ass apartment that I'm looking around right now, and I have a half, like not even a full bookshelf that's already full with all of my stuff. I can't afford to go around and keep on collecting all these games and getting all these extra cases and stuff. I've gone mostly digital recently, unless it's like significantly cheaper for me to buy it new, which sometimes it is. Like I was looking into buying Control, which is a non-Nintendo game, PC, Xbox, PS4, and I was thinking about getting that. I think I'm going to save my money and get Astral Chain instead, so I can talk about it with you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a much more digital guy now. Like I said, unless it's for a game such as Control. Where it's about $15 cheaper to buy a new from like Walmart or even Target has like $50. Mm-hmm. So I might, if I do end up getting that game, I might end up getting it a physical copy. But for now, It seems like it's going to be all digital.
Very good. All right.
For me, yeah.
On to our next story. So the Pokemon World Championships. Is that something that you've ever followed, Jake?
To a point. Last year at this time, first of all, I want to say, last year at this time, they had the Pokemon World Championships in Nashville.
Yeah,
I know
buddy.
You said you went.
I did.
I had just moved to Knoxville, and I was so mad. It was literally like my first week here, so I was like, I can't drive back already, so I didn't go. I was so depressed.
It was such a good time, yeah.
Dude, and even last year, I was like into the TCG. Like I had a deck, I was current. So like,
oh, then I wasted the spot too, because I just went and watched, and I had a fantastic time. But like, you know, casual people could enter the TCG tournaments and everything.
Dude,
so like,
my Beware killed people, dude. He was so good.
That's so awesome.
Big bulky Beware. I'll show you later. Beware is like one of my favorite Pokemon just because he wrecked house in my TCG deck. But we're not even talking about the news. We're just rambling. You haven't even mentioned why we're bringing up the Pokemon World Championships.
Well, it's kind of just, you know, a highlight reel of the year in Pokemon. All sorts of games take place there. Like we said, the TCG is played. The main series entries were played. So this year it was what, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I believe.
Yeah, I guess that would be the newest one at this time.
And there's actually Pokken Tournament as well, which I think is really cool. It was so fun to watch, like the championships and everything. It's such a good community. And that's one of the pieces of news that I wanted to bring. It's just a feel-good story. A tournament official out of Nevada, I believe, named Fumu. At least that's what he goes by on Twitter. But he and basically the entire Pokken Tournament community filled up this notebook with positive and thankful sentiments about what the game means to them and what the community means to them, and they hand delivered it to the game's producer, Masaki Hoshino. They're in Washington D.C., like at Worlds, and it was just like they took a little clip, of course, but it was a really sweet video and it's just such a neat idea. I thought that was really sweet. I know.
Wholesome. I love that.
Yeah, I went and just watched like an hour of Pokken Tournament live streams on Twitch and stuff, like after this. I don't know, it just got me back into it and made me want to like join the community. I don't know, it seems so friendly and welcoming. But also out of Worlds, next year will be 2020 in London, England. And so,
Ooh,
my wife is English. Pond. I know, but that's a good excuse to make it over to London for me. Also, I would keep an eye on when they're going to open up the registration, if that's something you're interested in doing, because I missed it last year and I had to get my tickets off the streets, off like a scalper.
Dang.
For like
How much did that cost you?
Well, like $20-$30, and like so I bought.
That's nothing.
I know, but you got them for like $5 or $10 if you like got them on time. But still,
yeah.
I think I had to. I missed some of the first day because I couldn't even find them in time. But so watch the schedule, kids. The other big news out of Worlds were just some new features for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't know. Do you see anything about this? The online battle system. Have you ever battled online much?
No, I'm not competitive in really any of my games, especially not Pokemon. I mean, I might have been.
Where it's easy to get a butt whooping.
Kid. Yeah, no, I'm not good at any games. Like I said, Pokemon included.
You go online and you just see some Japanese characters pop up for the name, and like you immediately know you're just going into the ground.
Oh no!
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been really busy this week, so I haven't. Man, I've barely seen any of this news. So tell me what happened
no worries.
In Pokemon.
Well, forgive me. It's been a while since I've played online as well. But Nintendo Pokemon announced that there will be a ranked battle system as well as a casual battle system. And so you'll earn points, which will raise your rank if you win. And so finally you'll like be battling in tiers that are potentially more appropriate for your skill level or, just how you build your teams. Like you said, I'm also very casual. I'd like to think I can like try and play competitive, but no, you know what I mean? But a proper tier system will put me right where I need to be. And I'm looking forward to that. Also, they said that they're bringing back a rental system. Again, forgive me if I'm missing out on this, but the last time I remember a rental system in a Pokemon game was Pokemon Stadium, where they let you choose from basically the roster of Pokemon and just build your own team.
Right, yeah.
In Sword and Shield, you're going to have to input an ID number for the team that you're wanting to rent, but you can even play with them online. So it just seems like a really cool concept to bring back. If it's already in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, forgive me, because I have not played online much.
Yeah, no, I haven't played those games at all. So.
Again, like I like to pretend I'm competitive, but usually I beat the main story mode and then it kind of fades away.
Right.
The main storyline, that is. But anyway, so that's kind of the news from Pokemon Worlds. I thought that was pretty cool. Always a good time, and if you can make it to London 2020, definitely try and do it.
Yeah, and in 2 days we've got Pokemon Masters coming out on iOS. So it comes out August 29th. I know that's not really news, but that's something notable about Pokemon. So we'll be talking about that on next week's podcast.
Sure, absolutely. Our next piece of news is about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which I have not played that much really since about the first week that I bought it. What about you?
No, me neither. I've not touched it since I finished reviewing it for the website I work for. Right.
Well, and I mean that's a shame. It is a fun game, but just the replay value is not right. That's a good.
No, it's junk food games, and when you've got a junk food game next to Fire Emblem, you're gonna choose Fire Emblem every day. At least I am. So.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. That it makes sense, and it's fun. It's a good time, but at this point, it's definitely kind of a backup game for me. But
for sure,
I might have to throw it back in the slot just a couple days on August 30th. If you don't recall, we were already getting Colossus and Cyclops as free DLC, but they also announced that they're giving us 3 new costumes. We're getting Symbiote Spider-Man, which is sick. Love it. We're getting an OG Miss Marvel skin for Captain Marvel. If for you yeah, whatever. I don't need to get into I don't need to get into Marvel lore. Never mind. But most importantly, Hulk is getting a Planet Hulk skin, which is one of my favorite comic storylines of all time. It's so good, and the costume looks
dope.
great. And so,
Hulk was in my main team, so
really,
I'm excited to throw that on him. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really play him at all. I think one of the Infinity Trials required you to play as him, but really, other than that, I didn't. And I think this Planet Hulk costume alone is going to be enough to get me back into the game, at least for a couple days.
I mean, I'd say for me, I'll probably at least pop it in again to try out Cyclops and Colossus. Because
sure. Good point. All right, moving on. Astral Chain. It's coming out this Friday as well, August 30th, along with the Marvel Ultimate Alliance DLC. I'm very much looking forward to it. You mentioned you are picking it up, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm stoked. Like I said, it was between that or Control, and at the end of the day, I had to go. Well, I got a Nintendo podcast, so I gotta wait a few days and get Astral Chain.
Attaboy, we appreciate it. So yeah, Astral Chain. It has a Metacritic score of 88 right now. Most of the reviews are really positive. It sounds like it has a 15 to 20 hour playtime, which is, fairly standard.
That's pretty good for a platinum game.
Right. And so, I don't know. There's not much story there for us to talk about. We'll obviously bring our own thoughts once we've played it. But, yeah, just positive reviews and looking forward to playing it.
Yeah. Dude, I'm stoked.
Moving on. The next piece of news is I'm very excited for it. I don't think it's a very popular series in general, but Monster Rancher, the original Monster Rancher for PS1, is getting a port to Switch. Right now it's only in Japan. I'm really hoping that we'll get a Western release here soon enough, but I don't know. I love Monster Rancher. I've always thought it's just a weird kind of obscure monster taming game going back to, I think, our bonus episode. Just I love catch-em-alls. I love Pokemon collectors. I love monster collectors. And Monster Rancher is just super cute, and the original PS1 game, it was like revolutionary. Did you ever play it? Do you know what it did?
No. I mean, I know about Monster Rancher. I've never played it. Something that I thought was interesting about this release is, did you see how they're going to handle the CD system?
See, I didn't see how they were going to handle it because I just thought they were ignoring it, to be honest.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the revolutionary thing that I was talking about,
right.
too, is the...
Yeah, so for our fans who might not know, the original Monster Rancher on PS1 had a thing where you could put specific like music CDs in your PS1 while playing the game, and it would unlock like super rare monsters and stuff.
Yeah, which is super cool. It was just any discs you had lying around, you'd throw it in, and it would generate a monster. And so
what they're doing for this new one is way less exciting, but they're just using an online database, and you just search whatever CD you would put in, and it'll come up and it'll generate a monster for it. So
are you serious?
That makes it... Yeah, I mean, that's neat, I guess, because they're keeping it, but also that means you can probably just, like, see which CDs give you the best monsters, and you can
are they just, like, syncing up with iTunes or Spotify or something and, like, search your artist?
I don't think so. I think it's, like, their own thing. Like,
interesting.
In-game or, like, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. No, that's...
It's definitely a way to game the system, but that's one reason I don't really like it. But I guess it's cool that they're keeping that feature around.
Yeah, sure. It'd be cool if, like, they had you put in different, like, carts that you own or something.
No, that'd
different
be dope.
Game carts.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's going to be a digital download anyway, so.
Right. That'd be neat. Yeah, but they got to do what they got to do, I guess. So.
More importantly, Western release, please. Bring it on.
Right. Western release indeed.
Anyway, moving on. Next piece of news. In the rumor mill, Chris Seaver, the creator of Conquer the Squirrel, Conker's Bad Fur Day, he didn't used to be so nasty. Did you ever? He has like a Game Boy Color game. He has like a little slingshot. It's super cute. I don't remember what it's called.
He's a racer in Diddy Kong Racing, and he's just normal, just a
right.
squirrel.
I love it. He's hilarious though. But yeah, again, this is just a rumor, but his creator, he seems to think that Rare IP is not far from coming to the Switch, which would probably mean maybe some Banjo-Kazooie games.
Please. God, I love Banjo-Kazooie so much. Like, it's my favorite 3D platformer. I would freak out if we got ports of the first two, or like, God forbid, if we got a new one. Oh my God. Because clearly Microsoft and Nintendo are like best friends now, because we not only got Cuphead ported over, but did you see Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to Switch too? We didn't include that, and so many games. Gamescom was this past week. So many games were announced. It was too many to really talk about.
They're so buddy now.
Yeah. So I mean, there's rumors about Games Pass maybe coming out on the Switch, which would be amazing. I wish I was an Xbox gamer. I am not. I'm PlayStation and Nintendo. I have an Xbox, but I don't use Games Pass because Games Pass is the best deal in gaming. It's amazing. And they recently said, this was even on like the Nintendo news site, Microsoft mentioned, someone high up, I don't remember, forgive me, mentioned that they would like to see it on every single platform everywhere. So maybe we'll at least get it on Switch, which would be amazing.
Cool to me. I would love it. I don't know what the deal is, why they're so tight now. I mean, obviously it's a lot of good business. That's what it all comes down to. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Because they
bring it on. I love it.
I mean, I think I want to say Sony or Microsoft, one of the two of them said they don't see Nintendo as a direct competitor, which a lot of people took as like an attack at Nintendo. But I mean, it's kind of true, and it is kind of sad to think about. But I mean, the Nintendo Switch for a lot of people is a secondary system. They have their PlayStation, they have their Xbox, and they have their Switch. I know that's true for me. I would have the Switch regardless, but I mean, Switch came out after PS4 and Xbox, so I already had my PS4 when I bought my Switch, so it is kind of secondary for me, even though I at least recently, I play it way more than my PlayStation, but a lot of people don't. I mean, in the past, I haven't. Like, months would go by between like big Switch releases that I cared about where I wouldn't touch my Switch. And that's how it is for a lot of people, where they play the big Nintendo releases and then they don't really touch it.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense why they don't necessarily maybe see them as competition. And so it makes complete sense for them to team up. And it's, my heart kind of hurts that Sony didn't do it, because I love Sony. It'd be really cool to see some Sony stuff coming to Switch. But, I mean, if we can get Games Pass on Switch because of this, like, hey man, I'll take it.
It'd be so great. Master Chief for Smash. Come on, bring it on.
Oh, we're already getting the Microsoft. We're already getting the Microsoft representative. So
yeah, fair enough. Okay. Do you want to take over the news?
Yes. Yeah. I added the last few of these news things. So I'll take over. So
yeah.
I'm gonna skip over that one right there. We'll save that for last because I really want to talk about Aladdin and Lion King SNES ports, like remasters, announced for the Switch, coming out in October. I'm so excited. It's the Mega Drive, and so the Mega Drive / Genesis and SNES ports. They're both going to be released for Lion King and Aladdin. You'll have the choice to switch between the two. You can switch between the two soundtracks at any time. They're coming out in October. I love these games. The Capcom Disney games are amazing, and I can't wait to talk about them when they come out, because we can probably use them as gems, even though they're like remasters. But they are definitely gems.
And they're 2D, like, platformer type games, right?
Yes, yeah, they are. And while there is a SNES and a Mega Drive version, it's not like it is now, where the PlayStation will get a version and the Xbox will get a version, and they're just identical. They were completely different games. Like in Aladdin, in the SNES version, he didn't have a sword, and in the Genesis version, he did have a sword. I think that's the right one. If it's the opposite, forgive me. But I know in one of them, he had a sword, and the other one, he didn't. And, some people grew up playing the SNES version, some people grew up playing the Genesis version, and they swear by whatever they grew up with. I think they're both great. But I saw this on the news stuff today, and I'm so excited. That's awesome. I love it so much. So I'm stoked to give those another chance.
We'll put it on the calendar.
Yeah. And then another little just game announcement that I saw that I thought people might find interesting. The Mega Man Zero Legacy Collection was announced for January, which includes Mega Man Zero 1, 2, 3, 4, Mega Man ZX, and Mega Man ZX Advent. I know nothing about these games. I'm pretty sure they're just Mega Man X games where you play as Zero, who's like the angsty, like Shadow the Hedgehog-esque like rival, you know? So I know people
behind you.
Yeah, I know people are really into Mega Man, and I just love seeing. I want every game to come to Switch, every single one. So if they won't give us our SNES Virtual Console, we will take them as slowly as we can through stuff like this.
Bits and pieces and chunks.
Even though I know these aren't SNES games, but we'll take our Virtual Console itty bitty at a time if we have to.
Are you a Mega Man guy? Do you?
I would really like to be. I like the music. I like the aesthetics, but I can never really. I don't know. I feel like I would have been if I was born in the 80s. Like I feel like I'd really dig it then. But
they're super
different. Mega Man 2 is the only one Mega Man 2 is the only one I've ever beaten, and I've beaten it like 6 times because I really like that game. But
they're super difficult.
It is, yeah. But the other ones I've not been bothered to beat. I've played pretty much all of them. I haven't played very many of the X games, but I've played pretty much all the original Mega Man games, and I like them. Just not enough to call myself really a fan.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so then we can go on to our last news story. We mentioned earlier Pokemon Masters, which is another Nintendo iOS game that's coming out in a few days. As of our recording, it's probably out by the time you're listening to it. But Mario Kart Tour, which is the Mario Kart iOS game, got a release date. It's coming out on September 25th, and you can pre-register now. So that's cool, I guess. I mean, this means for Pokemon Masters and Mario Kart, it's going to happen what happened with Dr. Mario. I'll download it, I'll play it for like an hour, and I'll be like, that's cool, and I'll never touch it again. Because I don't like being on my phone for long periods of time.
Oh, I totally agree. How robust of a Mario Kart game is this going to be? Is it going to be on par with like the arcade version that's at Dave & Buster's, or?
I think it is kind of arcade version. I mean, I really don't know. I know there were like leaked videos of beta testers and stuff, and I guess. Did you watch a trailer? I think there's a trailer out. I didn't watch it, but I've heard it's kind of watered down Mario Kart. I mean, of course, it's on the phone, but
that's what I saw. It looked very watered down. Like I only saw a couple green shells and some coins, and it didn't look very frantic, which is totally what I associate with Mario Kart. I don't know. It seemed a little slow, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably be pre-registering soon.
Oh, I'll definitely play them. I might even squeeze an article out of it for my job. So
sure, yeah.
We'll see.
All right. That's all we have for the news this week. Jake, do you want to start us off on what we've been playing? I know you've had a busy week. We also appreciate you guys like putting up with a bonus episode and everything. I had a nice week off. I hope your moving in week wasn't too stressful, but
yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't. I was busy. I don't want to bore these people with my life, but I was very busy. I still am very busy, but a lot of it's good busy.
Enough time for some Nintendo games?
Yeah. I work for a newspaper here in Knoxville called the Daily Beacon. It's an independent newspaper that kind of works with the university that I go to, and I get paid to write there, so that's cool. So a lot of the busyness I've had is working on new gaming videos for them and working on reviews for them, which brings me to the first main thing that I've been playing, which is Double Fine and Bandai Namco's newest like indie game kind of thing called Rad. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I have. I watched a couple videos because you've expressed interest in it.
Yeah. Well, I emailed Bandai Namco for a review code, and at first they said no. Bandai Namco always says no. I love you, Bandai. Please, you publish all of my anime games. Please give me games. But they said no, and I said, darn, that's all right. Well, I need something to cover for my first indie game video anyways, and it's $20. I'm just going to pick up Rad anyways. Normally in my videos, I use the soundtracks for the games that I play in the background for background music. So I emailed them and I said, hey, it's cool that I didn't get a review code, but can I have access to the soundtrack? Are you guys releasing it anytime soon? And they emailed me back pretty much immediately and said, no, I don't know of any release for the soundtrack currently. I'll look into it for you. Of course, I haven't heard back, but I'll look in for it for you. And then they said, actually, someone returned, I don't know who would do this, someone returned their Switch code for the game, so we have an extra. Here you go. So I got a Switch code. Yeah, I got a Switch code with the $3 extra DLC that they have. So thank you, Bandai Namco. I love you. Give me more games.
That's great.
Yeah, so I got a review code for that, and that's amazing. So I've been playing a lot of that. That's what I'm doing for, like I said, my first big video with the Beacon. So I've been at least watching a lot of my footage of me playing it while I've been editing. But it's a lot of fun. It's a procedurally generated roguelite that takes place in this goofy 80s inspired neon world. Like the big joke,
post-apocalyptic or something.
That's the big joke. But that's like that's part of the joke is they're like, well, the first time humanity had an apocalypse, we had it coming, but the second time we were like, come on. So so it's like what's left of humanity after this second apocalypse, and the little colony of humans that you live in is running out of power for oxygen and fertilizer and stuff. And so the elder comes to the people and is like, we need someone to go out and get these effigy thingies, activate these statues that'll somehow give the community energy again. And they're like, but it'll be a grave sacrifice. But we look to the youth. And so, one of the 10 characters that they have that you choose, volunteers themselves, and they're thrown out into the nuclear wasteland. But before that, they're given a electronic bat to beat people with. So they've got this big metal baseball bat, and they're also given the ability to absorb radiation and mutate themselves. So they gain different abilities to fight the monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big gameplay hooks of it. Since it's procedurally generated and a roguelite, it's meant to be played many, many, many times. You die, you start over. You die, you start over. And that's the main thing. That's the hook for me. Because, the worlds are different every time, but they're not, different enough to be oh, wow, this is so crazy. But the cool thing is all the different powers that you get. So, in one run, because as you kill enemies, you absorb radiation, and once the bar fills, you get a new power. And you can have up to 3 active powers at a time and unlimited passive powers. So, for my first run, I had a flame arm where I could shoot fireballs. One of my other arms turned into a sentient being that when I pressed a button, it would just swing crazily and do a bunch of damage. And the third one was my stomach turned alive, and I could do a thing where I could drop my stomach and it would suck all the enemies around in to be held in this middle area, and you could just beat down on them while they were held there. And it also when you were walking around, if you passed up money or collectibles, it would suck them into you. So, and of course that was just for one run. Another one, there's one where your head turns into a cobra head and you can shoot your head out to hit enemies. You can start it out.
How many powers are there? Do you know?
I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I've run into a bunch. Another one is your head turns into a Ghost Rider-esque flaming skull, and you can throw your skull at enemies and it explodes.
Sick.
I've seen stuff where your bottom half can turn into a spider body and you move faster and stuff. So there's a whole bunch of different combinations of powers and stuff that you can get. And that's the main exciting thing to really bring you back is what powers am I going to get this time? And of course it's got worlds and stuff, so you're trying to get to the end. I'll confess I have not made it to the end because I'm bad at video games, as I've said many times. But I've had a lot of fun with it. I feel like nobody's talking about this game. It's a Double Fine game. Double Fine's a pretty big deal. It's one of Double Fine's last releases independently, because they were purchased by Microsoft. So it's one of their last, if not their last, independently released game. So and nobody's talking about it, and it's cool, and it's not amazing. The graphics are all right. They
seemed a little odd in the videos that I was watching. They look fine when you're playing them normally, when it's all backed up. But the opening cutscene obviously zooms in really hard. And one thing I mentioned in my video is I played this game on 3 different monitors. I have a 4K TV in my room. Of course, it looked pretty good on the 4K TV.
Yeah. I have a 1080p monitor in my living room, and I did all my recording on the 1080p TV. Of course, I recorded with a 4K monitor, so all my recording is in 4K. But when I played the game on the 1080p TV in my living room, dude, that cutscene looked rough. Like, which is
wow.
most people I feel like are going to have these 1080p TVs. So the zoomed up 3D models just looked gross.
Yeah.
And everything, all the edges on everything looked hard, like pixelated, much, much worse. And it looked, of course I played it, also the third way I played it was I played it on the go when I was out at classes and stuff on, my Switch. And it looks even worse there. Not terrible. It's playable. I played it. It wasn't that bad, but it was like, yeah, this looks pretty rough.
Yeah.
Always ran at a steady frame rate though. Frame rates definitely bother me, especially since I got my 4K TV. Like I can definitely notice.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem definitely runs at 30 frames per second. Like you can tell. So I'm pretty sure Rad runs at 60. I'm not sure. I don't have a thing to track it or whatever. But it always ran well. Frame rate never dropped. Unlike another game that I played this week. Stay tuned. But yeah, so I really
the
enjoyed
replayability is there though.
Oh yeah, if you like this game, you can play it forever. I mean, it's like it reminds me. My favorite roguelike is Binding of Isaac.
Oh, dude, that's what I was gonna say. I love that game so much.
Yeah, dude, I have probably put 100 hours into Binding of Isaac.
I had it for the 3DS, and I took it everywhere.
They released it on PlayStation Plus for free a while ago, like years ago, and so that's how I first picked it up. And I played that game.
So good.
I played that game for forever. So. Yeah, it reminds me of that. So if you're into it, like I was into Binding of Isaac, theoretically, you could get hours upon hours upon hours of gameplay out of this, which is good because that's what it's meant for. Of course, I mean, I think this is potentially a game that I can see myself turning on in the background, to play when I don't have anything to do for a while because I enjoy it. I really like roguelikes, and I really enjoy this game's gimmicks, the whole radiation thing. And I like the world. The 80s aesthetic is pretty funny. It does get annoying a little bit. There's like an announcer that goes along with you, which is kind of funny. When you kill things, it'll be like radical, like oh, kill them, or like gotta get that cash, stuff like that. But every time the game loads, he goes loading, and it's kind of annoying. And every time you press pause, which I pressed a lot while I was trying to record, he goes paused. That got pretty annoying really quickly.
Interesting decision.
Yeah, but, I generally enjoyed it. Spoiler alert for my video. It'll probably be out by the time this podcast gets out, but I don't give... In my videos, I don't give numbered reviews, but I just do recommend or not recommend. And I recommend it. It's only $20. It's on the eShop. It's on the PS4. It's on the Xbox One. It's on the PC. I'd say anywhere you want to pick this up. It's for $20. I mean, if you enjoy roguelikes... it's good value. $20. It's fun. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. I would probably land around a 7.5. So hey, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Very
and that's
good.
It's one of the main things I've been playing this week since I've been gone.
Well, I'm glad it turned out well because you brought it up a couple weeks ago and I was wondering about it and it does look fun. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Binding of Isaac, that's those are kind of the majority of my experience with roguelites, but it sounded cool. I'm glad it turned out all right.
Yeah. And the second game I've been playing a lot of recently, I have a deadline due tomorrow. I have to write a review of this after we finish recording.
Nice.
But Konami was gracious enough to send me a review code of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution on the Switch.
Nice.
Yeah, I did not... Dude, let me tell you, the weirdest things like this happen. Sometimes you here's a little taste of the industry for someone who's basically a freelancer and is not working at something big like IGN or isn't a huge YouTuber. Sometimes I'll email companies like Konami. I emailed them about Legacy of the Duelist two or so weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago at this point. It was a good 2 weeks or so before the game came out. Game came out on August 20th. August 20th comes, goes, no email from Konami. I want to say it was August 22nd, 23rd. Game's been out for a few days. I get an email from Konami just randomly that's like, hey, we saw you expressed interest on reviewing Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. Would you still be interested? And I was like, yes, I would still be interested.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's like... That also happened to me with another game recently. can't remember off the top of my head, but there was another game recently where they emailed me a few days after the game came out, and I was like, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was the same way. It was 2 or 3 days after the game came out, and they emailed me about it, and I was like, absolutely, I'd love to review it. But I had given up hope,
Yeah.
Don't tell Konami. I'm sure they're not listening. But I was going grocery shopping the next day at Walmart, and I was just going to buy it at Walmart the next day. So they emailed me right before I went to buy it. But so I've been playing a lot of that, and so that's fun.
Love Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, dude.
And
I mentioned earlier that I played Pokemon TCG. I played Pokemon TCG, but like I played Yu-Gi-Oh in high school. Like that was my game. Like I was not a Magic guy. I was kind of a Pokemon guy, but I was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Like I put a lot of time into Yu-Gi-Oh.
And money, I imagine.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But me and my main friend group from high school, we all played it. So it was worth every dollar I spent on the memories I got with them. So
no, it's a great card game. So how's the gameplay? I know it spans like all the generations of the manga
Legacy
and
of
anime.
the Duelist. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist was a game that came out in 2015 for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and it covered pretty much all of the anime that was out at that point. So it covered Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, Arc V. I don't know. I don't watch the anime anymore. But so it covered all of those and all of the ways that those anime and those manga and those updates to the game changed the game drastically, such as Yu-Gi-Oh! GX had such a huge emphasis on fusion summoning. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds introduced synchro summoning. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal introduced XYZ summoning, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, Arc 5. God, if any Yu-Gi-Oh! fans are listening to me, they're going to kill me. But that game introduced pendulum summoning. And so it had all of those. You could play through a bunch of different missions that were based on the anime. So you can go in and you can play the story decks, and you're fighting, who they fought in the anime. So that's cool. You could also build your own deck and go into these battles with your own deck. I don't believe there was any online play on that one. So since the first game came out in 2015, Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a new anime come out called Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, which introduced an entirely new summoning form, an entirely new way to summon monsters.
Man, I'm like 4 generations of summoning behind, like
dude,
Synchro, and I was barely touching XYZ.
Yeah, Vrains introduced link summoning, which not only changed, which was not only a new way to summon monsters, but it changed the game completely. It changed the field completely. It changed the way you could summon monsters from your extra deck. The game pretty much was drastically changed. So that's one of the reasons this game is called Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. Mm-hmm. So it includes, obviously, link summoning. It includes only 3 story-based fights based on Vrains, which I was disappointed by because I love link summoning, because when I started playing was when link summoning was a thing. Mm-hmm. So, but it puts in 400 something cards from that from the new Link format. So I can make my World Chalice deck in this game, which I'm working on right now, buying cards from the card shop in there, so that's exciting. But that's one of the main things it added link summoning. So all of the story-based things, even when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, you have to use the link summoning format. As far as I can tell, it's pretty mandatory. So that's cool. So that changes up the game, and also this game has online battles. As of this moment, I haven't tried the online battles. I'm not an online guy. I'm going to jump on after this so I can talk about it in my review.
Can I just say, it's online duels?
Online duels.
It's time to duel.
Yeah. Online duels. Duelists rejoice. But yeah, so that's what is brought to the new game. And I mean, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! So this is fun. I mean, it's nothing revolutionary, but it's a good time.
Do you need to know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! To enjoy the game?
It teaches you, there's tutorials, but it definitely helps if you know how.
Does my understanding of past generations of Yu-Gi-Oh! Would that help me? Because link summoning, you are making it sound like it's a pretty drastic transition.
Yeah,
so,
I'd say they would help you. I mean, dude, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! is super easy to understand. You literally just read what's on the card,
Right.
You just have to know what each card does, how Zexal or XYZ cards and pendulum summoning and link summoning differs from all the other stuff. But other than that, I don't think it's too complicated. I think it's easier than Magic. I mean, Pokemon's stupid easy, but I think it's easier than Magic, so that's saying something.
Yeah.
But no, cool. I mean, there's tutorials in each of them that when you start a new anime, like you start the new missions in the anime, and it introduces a new kind of summoning, there's always a tutorial that teaches you how to do it.
Okay.
So there's that. I would say the barrier to entry might be a little bit higher because of, like I said, you can read what each card does in real life, and technically you still can do that on the TV, but it's harder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
You have to select each card.
Well, but the layout's really good. You don't have to do any of that. Like, you don't have to zoom in or anything. It pops up in the side, and you just have to scroll down and read.
Oh, great.
That's a bit cumbersome to me. Of course, I still have to do that. It's not like something like Magic players. I feel like they do know what every card does.
Sure.
You know? There's too many Yu-Gi-Oh cards for me to know that, so I don't. So I still have to read a lot, but I at least will have especially for the early ones, like someone plays Monster Reborn, and I know exactly.
Right.
You know. Or even with some of these newer ones, someone plays a Goki monster, and I'm like, it's a Goki. Or especially, I played a World Chalice deck, so I know everything about all the World Chalice monsters. But I think it helps if you've played before, because this is definitely fan service heavy.
Yeah,
and it's definitely for the fans. But I wouldn't say if you have a passing interest in it, I think it's worth trying out. It is. I mean, I think the price is a bit hefty. It's $40 brand new right now. Which at least it's not 60.
Really?
Yeah, but it is.
That sounds fantastic. That almost makes me want to pick it up even more.
Yeah,
you can also. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in so long, and not having to pay the full $60 price tag. That's actually tempting.
Well, pro tip: Walmart has it for $30. So if you want to go to a place that can price match or anything, or if you just go to Walmart, they've got it brand new for $30. So,
hey, good.
And if you get the physical edition, it comes with cards. It comes with 5 actual cards. So.
Physical boys, rejoice!
Yeah, I'm probably going to give the game a 7 or an 8. Oh, like I mentioned earlier, though, there was during one of the duels, I don't even know, nothing crazy happened, but the frame rate dropped to 2.
Huh.
It was chugging hard, and it was just moving really slowly. It was really weird. It's only happened to me once, but I was well, I definitely gotta note that. I mean, I've played for probably 10 hours or so now, and it only happened to me once, so.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And it went away after. I mean, it lasted for maybe 30 seconds, and then it just went away, and the rest of the duel was fine. But yeah, I'm probably going to give it a 7 or an 8. With the big asterisk. I feel like a lot of my reviews are if you like this kind of game, you'll like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how else to. If you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're into TCGs, I think this is one of the best TCG video games out there because, unlike. When you play online Magic, the Magic game that's on PC and the Pokemon game that's on PC, you actually have to pay real money to get those cards. Mm-hmm. Dude, this game has 9,000 cards
built in.
I believe 9,000 is the number. And I mean, you don't just get them all at once. You have to win duels and you go to the virtual card shop and you buy
Open
virtual packs. Yeah, but you don't have to spend $1 on it. And also, Legacy of the Duelist, the original game, got a whole bunch of DLC and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And it's all included in this one. So a bunch of different little extra duels and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's been my experience with Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, if you're into TCGs or Yu-Gi-Oh, Braydon, it sounds like I piqued your interest.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of fun, man. And hey, if you got it, we could duel online. That is a cool thing.
That actually sounds really fun.
Yeah, you can always just pick Yami Yugi's deck or one of their other decks, or you can build.
So they have
own.
presets.
Yeah, if you play Yami Yugi's deck, I'll kick your ass because all the preset decks suck.
Is Exodia in it?
One of them is, but I don't know if the one that you can play online has it. But dude, it's not really a complaint. It's just how it is when you play the games with the story decks. Some of them are so unnecessarily hard because some of the old cards from the original Yu-Gi-Oh, a bunch of the monsters they have just have 1,200 attack or 1,400 attack, and that is
no effect.
Nothing. That's nothing. And you'll be playing enemies that just have a gimmick, that'll just be able to steamroll you when they get to your. Dude, I was playing against the dragon guy from the first part of Yu-Gi-Oh the other day, and I was playing as Joey Wheeler.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Such a throwback.
It was before Joey gets Red Eyes, and this guy has Red Eyes White Dragon.
Oh.
Or Red Eyes Black Dragon, excuse me. Yeah. And literally turn 1, he placed some stuff down, and Red Eyes was out on the field like turn 1, and I was like, well, guess I have to just start the duel. There's many times like that where you'll just get a bad draw, or they'll just summon like the most powerful monster like the beginning, and you just have to surrender and start over because it's like, oh, that's the game.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I think if you're into that kind of stuff, you'll enjoy it too. So I've talked enough about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Good stuff. All right. So anything else you've been playing? It sounds like that has taken up a lot of time. Those two would take up a lot of my time too.
It definitely has. Yeah. So I haven't had much time to play much else. Astral Chain is going to take my time after this. Definitely going to do a review of that. I mean, getting review codes from Nintendo is impossible, so I'm just going to have to drop the money on it.
Oh, shame.
But
I'm still
going to review it. I'm still going to review it.
Absolutely.
That'll take my time next week. And I'm going to have to pick up a new indie game because the video series I do at the Beacon is indie game only by my own design.
Sure.
And I don't like to do popular games, so I've had people be like, oh, you should do Cuphead and you should do that, and I'm like, no, I want to do things that people don't know about, like specifically, like the numbers might not be as good, but like I don't know, I just like spotlighting shit.
Sure.
So,
absolutely. Cool. All right, well, I have only been playing one game really since the last time
a game I was supposed to be playing, and because of my busyness and my work and everything, I have not had time really to play, which I apologize for, but we can still talk about it, and I'll still quiz you on it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And I think this will probably wrap right up into our gem as well, because, as you will soon find out, it was released about 11 years ago originally, and it has a re-release on the Switch. So, without further ado, the game I've been playing this week is The World Ends With You Final Remix for the Switch. The World Ends With You is one of my all-time favorite games. I played it when it first came out for the DS, and the story just blew me away, as well as the gameplay. Like, it just... We'll discuss it more, but yeah, I got Final Remix for the Switch, and yeah, Jake, so you were supposed to be playing it, buddy. Did it make it into the console?
It made it into the console, and I think I played 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
Admittedly, it's intimidating at first, I think. Like, if you're going into it, if you're just getting started with it, and like you have other things to be doing, and you just have 5 minutes to play it, it's pretty dense, especially there in the beginning. And it stays pretty convoluted throughout, but like it's a lot to pick up right then and there. So it makes sense that you don't feel like you have a great grasp on it after 5 minutes. But yeah, so
I just a little bit, dude. Yeah, I just want to say, like, I am definitely gonna play this one day, because I mean the aesthetic is so cool looking. And I love the characters, and the way the combat seems to play already just seems really cool. So I'm intrigued, and you'll hear about it sometime from me on this podcast. But for now, go ahead and lead the discussion, sir.
I want to be careful with how deeply I go into the storyline here, because if I manage to pique anybody's interest, I just want them to experience it all for the first time. It is such a wild mystery, like a emotional, oh god, I was about to say emotional roller coaster. That's not what I mean though. That's but you're right. The aesthetic is incredible. It's stylish. The music is all kind of J-pop, like electronic. It can get a little grating at times, but the art style is kind of like pop with like thick bold lines. First and foremost, the most important part of the game is like really the story. You play as Neku. You recently died. You find that out, pretty soon into the game, that you are dead, and you are now playing a game to come back to life. It is a game put on by the Reapers, this mysterious organization that apparently has some connections to the afterlife, but they are threatening to erase you from existence if you do not complete this game that's going to last a week. You have to meet all their conditions, survive the week, and you get to come back to life. That is about the most ground level explanation I think I could give. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. If you have never played this and want to play it with a fresh mind. Maybe skip to the end of the podcast or something, because I'm going to get a little bit more into detail, but nothing too drastic either. Yeah, so to survive in this underground Shibuya, it takes place in Shibuya in Japan. To survive there, you have to pair up with another dead person, essentially, to form a team of 2. That's the only way that you can fight against these Reapers and the monsters that they can create. You have to be in this partnership. And Neku is just an outcast. He is an amnesiac for a little bit of the game. They get rid of that cliche pretty quickly. He regains his memory, and it's not a huge part of the game, which is nice. But you have to partner up, and you meet this girl named Shiki. She has died as well, and she has some secrets of her own. And again, this is going to go a little bit into the game, but you manage to survive the first week. And circumstances arise that you might have to play the Reaper's game again. And so Neku is just trying to find out where his place in the world is, and whether he even really wants to come back to life, what he has in the real world that he even wants to come back for. It's an incredibly emotional game. Each character you meet, they really give them a lot of personality and really make you feel connected to them, and actually make you dislike the ones they want you to as well. The partner I'm currently with on the game is a little brat, and they've done a great job of getting me to dislike him. And so it's just phenomenal characterization. The story is... Did you ever watch Lost? Have we talked about... Have I used that used that before in
No, you haven't.
It almost reminds me of that, in just that there's so many mysteries and so many things that by the end of the game, frankly, are not going to be answered. But it doesn't really matter. It's more about this journey that you're going on. And a lot of the questions do get answered, which is incredibly satisfying. They've created a wild, rich world, which is super fun to explore. It all takes place in Shibuya. You're in a city, essentially, the whole way through. But each area is different. It's super alive. A big feature is you can read minds. People can't see you. You are dead. You're a spirit, but you can read their minds. And so as you're walking throughout the world, throughout the city, you can just activate this pin that allows you to read minds, and people's thoughts pop up. It's really wild. I don't know. What do people know about this game?
I feel like Nintendo fans do. Or maybe not just Nintendo fans, but maybe just JRPG or Japanese game fans. Because I've known about it for a while, but I don't know if the casual person, casual gamer would, because it's pretty niche. It's really impressive. We got a Switch port,
Yeah. So a version called Solo Remix was released for the iOS. And this is the final remix, which I guess indicates, just that the game is coming to a close. They're probably not going to touch it much anymore, which is a shame. But yeah, another massive feature of the game is, and it was, unfortunately, that's something I will touch on here in just a moment, but is the combat. I mentioned pins and reading people's minds on the streets. Each pin... there's hundreds, if I'm not mistaken. Each pin has a separate power. Some of them allow you to draw lines and fires created. Some of them are force rounds, almost like Dragon Ball Z. Some of them allow you to uppercut. Some of them create icicles. Some of them drag cars around. It's just a huge variety of these pins. It's all utilizing the touch screen of the DS. And that was such a wild thing. And on the top screen, your partner is fighting. You're also controlling them. The different partners that you may acquire throughout the game each have a separate play style, and so you have to get used to that, as well as simultaneously controlling Neku on the bottom screen with your stylus. Final remix for the Switch, it's a little less satisfying. They've definitely watered down how your partner fights. It's just there's no way for it to be quite as robust. There's not two screens, but they did consolidate it well. it still feels like you're playing as two separate people at times, which is important. They want you to build this synergy. It's another facet of the battle system, is this synergy that you build up.
Mm-hmm.
For the DS, it was something I'd never played before and really stretched your mind. You had to pay attention to both screens at the same time and just be on top of it. The Switch is a little more contained. I've played it handheld nearly the whole time. Maybe it's just nostalgia for the DS, and I like having it really close to my face. But It's all touch. There's nothing to do with the Joy-Con, and it's interesting. It feels a little clunky at times because my finger is not nearly as pointy as a DS stylus. I trip over my own fingers sometimes, but but the game is phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to playing the bonus content. I don't believe it revolves around the main characters that I'm used to from the DS game. It's a separate chapter entirely with different characters, which I presume is still has to do with the Reaper's game, which gets me really excited because I thought I knew everything about the Reaper's game. We'll see. I haven't quite beaten the game on the Switch yet. I'm looking forward to wrapping that up and playing the new features that they've added just for us.
Yeah, you seem like you're really into it, so that definitely makes me excited to try and jump into the DS version.
Oh, man, and really, it's just, I'm so attached to the characters. The writing is phenomenal. Neku is he's like an emo kid. He hates everybody, and he over time, you're meeting these different characters, and he's learning why he should be alive, why you should care about other people, what other people can contribute to the world and to you, and I don't know. It's a super rich emotional story with an awesome battle system attached, and there's weird mechanics about how you dress and how you accessorize, and that influences like the popularity of different pins in different areas. It boosts the powers. It's all about style. Trends is what they call them. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any questions about the game? It's fine if not.
I don't really think so. I think I mean, you've given a pretty intense rundown of it. So
yeah, I went hard there for quite a few minutes.
I was gonna say you're definitely good. You're definitely a good salesman for it.
Well, that's right. Go pick up Final Remix. It's $30 at GameStop. You might see it other places for like full price, like $60. Do not pay that. Price match somewhere that has it cheaper. GameStop was where I got it for $30. And so definitely, look for a lower price. It is a remake of a older game, so again, not always worth the full $60 in my opinion. But then again, this game is certainly worth $60. So,
oh yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, it seems super dope.
I'm gonna zip it though. What do you think, Jake? We've got our NintenGem. The World Ends With You. You've covered Rad.
The World Ends With You joins the NintenGems Hall of Fame that exists inside my mind, which we need to visualize somehow. Oh, it will.
Yes, indeed. Well, all right, man. I miss you, buddy. It was fun getting to do this. I'm looking forward to
Yeah, I miss you too, man.
And to you, dear listeners, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, see you guys next time.